Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of The Lighter Side of True Crime. I'm your host, Keith Rovere. Today, we're going to be talking to Joseph Nissensohn. I've been getting to know him for a while. He is currently at the California Healthcare Facility. It sounds fun, but it's not. It's a prison. He was at San Quentin's death row. He was at a few different places over the years. But as you know, they put a moratorium on death row in California. So they transferred everybody, the majority of people off of death row to different level 2 facilities. A little more privileges, I guess you can say. And that's where he's at now with a couple people there. David Carpenter, the Trailside Killers, over there with him, along with a few other people. He was initially, in 1989, convicted of the murder of Sally Tagaris. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Did his time, granted parole in 2007. He actually had a release date, February 8th of 2008. But I believe on January 29th, more charges were filed, actually due to his wife. Wife turned him in about some other multiple murders. And it was just pretty wild. I mean, a couple days and you think you're free, and they got hit with these charges. So I'm sure it was, I hate to say devastating for him, because obviously if you're a serial murderer, then it's more about the victims, of course. But this shows about their mindset, getting to know them as a human being, not just the monsters that people think they are. Most documentaries just focus on the crimes, not really the person. Talk to a lot of psychologists who love listening to the podcast because they're getting to know them on a human level, how they think. Their upbringing, their childhood, and hearing them talking with their guard down. This is not a gotcha podcast. Like, where are the bodies? Where it's not about that here. But it's called The Lighter Side. And some do want to talk about the crime. Haddon Clark, Keith Jesperson certainly are very open about their case. But it's a little different. We're, again, getting to know them as a person. That's why they come on the show. They trust me, not to, bash them and ridicule them and mock them for what they are. And that's where we get to know them on a personal level. I'm all about mental health and getting to know not just why they did what they did, but their upbringing, their childhood, where they were, and what jobs they had and things like that. So anyway, without further ado, here is Mr. Nissensohn. First of all, thanks for taking the time to come join on the podcast. I appreciate it. And just by hearing you now, I'm so jealous of your voice. You have like that during the last time. You have like a voice for radio. I think I can just listen to you talk all day. I love it.
Well, I'm glad I have a voice of radio because I sure don't have a voice for singing.
I know. That's two of us. It's fun. I try, but you're certainly not going to pay me to sing. That's all. That's for sure. And one thing I wanted to start with.
I once sang.
Oh, go ahead. Tell me. What did you say?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I was going to say, I once sang over a recorder and played it back and immediately erased it.
Oh, that bad. We all think we sing good in the shower. We're driving in the car. But, once you actually hear yourself, I'm not really sure. The one thing I wanted to start out with, you told me a story about your little trip, little trip to the hospital you took. And it's usually when someone gets to take a ride or an hour or so ride to a facility or to a hospital, it's like the best day of the year. They can smell the fresh air. They get to see the countryside or buildings or grass. But you didn't have exactly a positive trip. You talk a little about your little trip from hell the other day.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a trip there and back from hell. First off, we're in the back of a van that has over 200,000 miles plus on it, and I don't think they've ever changed the shocks. And I'm way in the back of the van, so that if you know anything about roller coasters, if you're in the very back, you get thrown up and down the best. So California highway roads, I don't know where the money's going, but it sure ain't going to fixing the roads. Every time we went over a bump, it would throw me up out of the chair and then slam me back down. I spent the rest of the trip there and back with both hands onto the sides of my wheelchair, holding it deathly grip to keep myself from coming out of the wheelchair. It was crazy.
Oh, jeez. More damage to you just taking the ride than the reason why you were probably going in the first place.
The first time I wasn't ready for it the first time, and when it slammed me back down, hurt my back, hurt my chest. I was getting ready to tell them to take me back.
Oh,
I
jeez.
don't want to go any further.
Oh no! How often do you get out? I mean, did it take you for different tests and stuff? Do you get a chance? Was it once a year or so to get out, or has it been a long time since you actually been out of the facility?
Actually, that was the second time to see the same neurologist.
Okay.
Over this COVID myopathy.
Mm-hmm.
So this month, this past month, twice now, and I'm supposed to be going next week to some other place where you do a swallow test. They make you drink some stuff, and then you swallow different foods while they show it on an X-ray machine or something.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully the test goes okay.
But that's a local trip. It's
Okay.
somewhere in the county, so I don't have to go all over them highways to San Francisco or Marine County again.
Oh, good. Yeah, I can imagine. Definitely imagine. I mean, speaking of changing a venue and getting outside, obviously California, years ago put that moratorium on, at San Quentin's on the death row. How did you feel when you first heard the news that, they're putting that moratorium on there? I mean, let alone before you heard you're being transferred, but like amongst the guys there, was it a feeling of relief or wasn't really that big a deal? Or how did you guys feel when that first the law became passed or is that putting that moratorium on that?
Well, me personally, it didn't really impact me at first because I'm still in the beginning of my appeal. And since I'm 74 years old, I know I'd be dead before the appeal is finally completed.
Mm, okay.
So that part didn't really, hit me. But when I went to classification to go to where they were, going to send me, the guy says, "Well, it looks like you have 0 points." And I'm thinking, "Oh, great. What did I do?" He says, "No, no, no. That's
That's
a
a good
good
thing.
thing."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you ready for this? He says, "We're going to make you a level 2."
Mm-hmm.
Now, my jaw just hit my chest
Oh,
because
wow.
San Quentin's death row is pretty much about a level 5, the highest you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Normally it's level 4, but death row is a little higher. And so going from a level 5 down to a level 2, that was amazing right there. But when I got here, this is no lie. This room that I'm in right now, you can fit 4 of the cells that I was in San Quentin in this room here. And this is a
Wow.
room, not a cell.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And when after a week here, it was like the difference between San Quentin and here is like this is a country club.
Mm. It's
I mean, there's
amazing.
no pool tables and no golf courses and stuff like. But it's a country club compared to San Quentin. We're
Wow.
out all day. There's no cuffs, no chains, no bars. It's like kind of like a hospital, but still a prison.
Yeah. Now, can you describe like what a typical day would have been like in San Quentin's death row? I'm probably pretty monotonous, I'm sure, but like a typical day at San Quentin versus a typical day now where you're at now.
Okay, let's see. In San Quentin, you wake up in the morning. They bring you your tray up, your breakfast tray. Goes puts into this little slot in the bars. You eat it, put it back up on the tray, and they take it away. And then you're stuck in your room until maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, where every other side, there's 2 sides. There's a bay side and yard side. I was on the bay side. And every other day you get to go out to what they call a yard. It's it's like 5 yards, all chain linked, maybe about 30 feet by 50 feet each one. And you spend about 2 hours out there. You can play cards, walk, work out a little, and then you're back in your room again. Now keep in mind that anytime you leave your room, you are in chains and handcuffs
Mm.
every time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guard right next to you with his arm on your elbow as you walk.
Wow.
Now, um, you're in there the rest of the day. You can watch, you have your own TV. You watch TV or read or what have you. Now here, you
Oh,
wake
let
up
me actually let me
and
ask you this before you mention the place
yeah.
you're at now. When you said you're chained that much, when you get to the yard, are you still chained, or did they take the cuffs off in the yard?
Well, you're still chained, and the yard has you go through one gated door, and you back up to it, and they unchain you.
Okay.
And then they open up another gate that lets you into the yard. Oh yeah, we're not chained or cuffed in the yard.
Okay, good.
And here though, and you wake up, have breakfast, and then at 8 o'clock in the morning they unlock. They unlock the doors, and we're out. We're allowed to come out to the day room, and we can spend the whole day out in the day room until 1:30, and
Jeez.
then you got to go in for about anywhere between a half hour and 45 minutes because you're doing shift change, and then you're back out again until dinner. And 5:30, you can come back out again
Wow.
till 8:30. Oh yeah, it's so much freedom.
Oh, I can imagine. I just had a former prison guard at San Quentin on my podcast. He was around back when Charlie Manson and Richard Ramirez were still alive. His name, I'm not sure if you remember his name or was part of it, but you recognize a Darren Monahan, who was a prison guard there. Does that ring a bell?
Money.
Apparent-
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
He was just telling me how, back in the old days, as he said, it wasn't as, I won't say as bad, but it was a different scene than it kind of is now. Talk a little. I mean, how many years were you at San Quentin? Because the question I was going to ask you is, did you notice a difference? Like when you first got there versus right before you left, as far as the guards' mentality, how they treated you there. Was it kind of the same all the way for you, or did it get better?
No.
Did it get worse?
Oh yeah, no, there was. Oh, it got better, much better.
Mm.
The food got worse,
Oh
but
no!
the way they treated you got better.
Really?
Oh yeah, we used to get like for dinner we'd get a whole half a chicken, the leg and the thigh, all one piece,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually it broke off to now we get. They gave us this little round chicken patty, about about a quarter-inch thick, about 4 inches long by about 3 inches wide, and that was the chicken they gave you.
Wow.
Yeah, all the food got worse.
Mm.
I don't know. They claimed it was lack of money, lack of funds.
Oh, sure. You said that
Yeah.
you were treated a lot better, though? And in what ways it kind of
Oh,
were
yeah,
treated better from before?
Well, there were a lot of guards who thought it was their job to punish us rather than being locked up was our punishment. But a lot of them went away. They retired or was transferred, and they just treated it. You can actually tell the difference of the way they treated us more with a little respect. If you gave them respect, they'll give you respect back.
Okay. Do you remember your first day there? I mean, because that's like an infamous place. People hear the name. At least maybe people don't live in that area. But we hear like San Quentin is like synonymous for like, oh, San Quentin. You think of all these famous names, who went there. What was it like your first week or day? Was it intimidating for you, or was it just like, okay, I'm used to it to a degree, or was it more of just another place, or was it something a little horrible about going to San Quentin?
Well, when you first get there, they put you in the hole,
Really?
and which is a closed-off area, and you're in a room, and you don't come out at all. Period. I was there for about 3 months before they decided, okay, he's good enough. He doesn't cause problems. He looks like he's acclimating okay. And then they put me on the row.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was a trip. That
Wow.
was kind of scary. I've never been on something like that. The cell, I can hold my arm out to my body completely and almost touch the opposite wall.
Oh no.
And I think we measured them out at 5 foot wide by 11 feet long. And keep in mind, the back of it had the commode and the sink, and then the bed took up most of that. So there was only like a foot and a half where you can walk because of the bed back to the back of the cell. It was quite constricting.
Now, were there double beds in some of them also?
No, you never get a roommate on death row.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Each one is a single cell.
Wow. Did it Do you ever adjust to that? Or is that just something where it just takes a toll mentally on you? Because I can't imagine. I mean, at least you don't have a room. I mean, some people I know like roommates, and then some people, don't, That how do you stay so mentally strong in something like that?
Well, there's only one way I found to do it, and that is in my mind, I said, okay, this is my home. This is where I'm going to live, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Mm,
And it helped. It actually helped.
yeah. Now, when you go the place you're at now, obviously you had mentioned some guards. At most, I would say the vast majority of prison systems have this like fear-based, punishment-minded, aggressive, negative reinforcement, as I say, prison mindset. Like we're going to put the fear of God in them, so they'll never want to come back, or they'll respect us more if we fear, fear, fear. Now you're at a place now where it's more about counseling, a little bit more kindness and caring. Did you notice that the men where you're at now are like less aggressive, less on edge with that type of prison system versus San Quentin when it's at its worst, where it's more like that punishment and fear aspect where people are on edge all the time? Can you actually visibly see a difference even the short time you've been at this place of people's general attitude there?
Oh, yeah. The guards here, I mean, I get along with every single one of them.
Wow.
And they treat us with respect. If you can talk with them, the nurses, they're out and about. They'll laugh with you. They come by twice a day to do blood pressure, and everybody's friendly. It was it was actually amazing when I first got here
Wow.
and seen all these guards that were so nice. I wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between showing respect and getting respect to actual being friendly,
Mm-hmm.
and they're friendly here.
That's nice. Like one of my biggest stances is, in American prison systems, especially against violent offenders who get out of prison, the return to prison rate's like 70%. It's over 70% when they get out. And my argument was, well, you spent 20 years in prison or more, or even less for that matter, and they've done nothing for you but put more hatred into you, more aggression. So when you come out, of course, you're ready to kill the world when you get out or do something horrible. But I look at the Norway prison system where it's like the California healthcare facility. It's all positive reinforcement. It's encouraging. It's job training for when you do get out. And I mean, does that make sense to you? Where it in your past in different facilities where, of course, when they get out, they're ready to do horrible things to themselves. I mean, the suicide rate is even high for people who get out after going through decades of that type of abuse, versus a place like where you're at now, or like the Norway prison system where it's about kindness, respect, and yeah, somebody might have done some bad things, but most people are going to get out one day, you know. It, but can you see the mental difference between somebody getting released from like your facility versus somewhere like a San Quentin's death row, where their mindset might be way more positive when they come out?
Well, not only this place. See, I lucked out by coming here. Originally, I thought I was going to Donovan, which is another medical facility.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out there is so many fights there,
Wow.
and stabbings and stuff, that they get locked down all the time.
Ah.
This place here is different than all the other prisons in California system, as far as that being nice and helpful, and they have all kinds of what do you call it, groups that you can go to learn how to deal with stress, deal with anger. They got excuse me, they got schooling. This place here is like what you're talking about in Norway. They
Wow.
do. They try to help you to not reoffend when you get out.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head before, where the punishment is you're locked up. Now, you lost your freedom. That's supposed to be the punishment. Now it's the prison's job to rehabilitate. Even if somebody's not getting out, life without parole people, and that's a whole another argument. I'm not really for that either. But you can still be beneficial. You can be encouragement to other people there. I mean, there's many things you can do, even if you're not getting out, but especially those getting out. I mean, I just don't understand. I understand the public. If somebody's a victim or something like that, I mean, you can see why they might be, upset to a degree of why, oh, you're going to be nice to this person. I was like, yeah, but you got to look at it to where a lot of these men and women are going to get out. And if that person is going to be your neighbor, don't you want them, who they know kindness and compassion, and because somebody was kind and compassionate to them, and it's just an argument that's never made sense to me why these places are so much pushing fear into people. Where I don't know, it just doesn't work. But you had mentioned kind of moving around a little bit. Actually, where did you grow up when you were younger? Where did you move around a lot? Did you grow up in just one place, or where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in New York, in Long Island, New York.
Oh, okay, I
We
didn't know that.
started out in Brooklyn, and then we went a little bit further into Queens, and then eventually ended up in Nassau County, all Long Island.
Oh, okay.
You go from lower middle class to higher middle class.
Mm-hmm.
We never made it to the end. um, I loved it there, and growing up in Long Island, it was really nice. Because anytime you wanted to go into the city to party, just get on the Long Island Railroad and take
Nice.
you right into the city.
Oh, yeah. Is that where you stayed most of the time? Did you move? Have you lived in any other states besides New York?
Oh yeah. Once I got out of, I went into the Marine Corps. Once I got out of the Marine Corps, I decided to head west, and excuse me, I got picked up. I was hitchhiking across the United States.
Oh, really?
I got picked up by this.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. It was back in the day when trucks would stop, cars would stop.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't think twice about it. They just stop, pick you up, and buy you lunch when they stopped for something, and
Wow.
on they go. So I eventually got picked up by this guy who was on his way to Boulder, Colorado, to go to school, and he liked to climb rocks. He was a rock climber.
Mm-hmm.
So we would stop along the way and climb all these big rocks, little mountains and stuff, and wound up in Boulder, Colorado, where I decided to go to school too. I took a couple of semesters there, and then decided to go off to California. Now, I love California. This is where I would stay.
Nice.
I did spend a few years in Arizona, but when I became a truck driver, I made it to, I don't know, maybe 30, 35 of the states in the United States.
Wow. Is that what made you become
traveling.
Is that what made you become a truck driver? I've seen you from hitchhiking around and wanting to see more of that, open, free lifestyle, that wide open road. Is that what made you become a truck driver, or so you can see more?
It was a combination of that and money.
Mm.
Made really good money, 25 cents a mile, and just going across Texas, that's 200 miles.
Mm.
Plus, I love meeting people, all different people from all the different states.
Oh, sure.
I knew every good truck stop for good food.
Sure.
I knew where all the speed traps were.
Oh, yeah, I should imagine. Now, were you allowed? I know truck drivers back then, depending, I guess, what company. I don't know if you were allowed to or not. Were you allowed to pick up hitchhikers? Because I'm sure, like you said, it was a time of hitchhikers. Were you allowed to pick them up, or you had your company weren't allowed to do it?
Well, you weren't supposed to do it,
Okay.
but I would pick them up. We would have we'd pick up one of the girls working girls
Mm-hmm.
at one of the truck stops.
Sure.
And because we had a CB as we traveled, going to my next run,
Mm-hmm.
they would get on the CB and get themselves a job with one of the other truckers,
All right.
pull over, and then on we'd go again.
Oh, they knew how to get the hustle on. They know how to work it. And would they like somebody like that? Would they just go truck stop to truck stop? So they didn't really have a place. It sounds like it's not like they just hooked. You had some little fun in the stop, the rest stop. Sound like you went on the road, and did you do that, or you just stay at the place, or did you actually take them for a ride?
Oh, I would. They would go with me from one state to the other. I
Really?
remember picking up one. She stayed with me for I don't know, 3 months. I think
Right.
just traveling. Oh yeah, every time I got a job, see the truck had a 66-inch sleeper, so never had to stop to go to a motel.
Yeah, I guess it was their house. I guess if they, on their end, I mean, they might make a few bucks too, but I guess it's almost like a free place to stay. Look at it that way, and you get to see the country.
Yeah,
Oh, it's funny.
and lots and lots of drugs.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, especially back then. I mean, even to this day, with truck drivers just trying to stay awake, and let alone anything else party wise. And was that when like I
Yeah, I
remember when?
remember.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I remember the cross cross chops and Christmas trees. That's with speed to stay awake and just travel around because we're only allowed to drive 500 miles a day,
Yeah, I know there's a
and then you
limit.
have
Yeah.
to stop for 8 hours.
Okay. Now it's more like everything's like
So
digital. They can just track you with like GPS. I guess you just had to kind of write it down in a book and you know kind of fudge it a little bit if you had to. But nowadays you can't fudge anything. I mean, they got the GPS tracker on you. They know exactly where you're at, when you stopped, and everything for sure. Now, was there any?
I I know
Go ahead.
I I remember the first time I got pulled. The first time I'm on the phone. I remember the first time I stopped. I got pulled over in the truck stop at one of the way stations, and I haven't done my log books, in days. So they told me to pull over to the parking lot there, and I'm sitting there. I'm going through my log books, trying to catch them up to date, and it must have been about 15, 20 minutes. Then I go in. He looks at my bills of lading and stuff and says, "Okay, thanks." I said, "Aren't you going to check my log books?" He says, "You've been out there for 20 minutes. I think you're up there catching them up as it is,
No,
so
they
they're probably fine."
don't. Yeah, they're. Yeah, kind of. I'm sure they got that happened to them once or twice. They know. They already knew. Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
As a kid, like what kind of kid were you? So were you always like a troublemaker? Were you fun loving? Were you into sports, or what were you like? Were you like when you were little Joseph?
Well, now I didn't realize this, of course, until I was in my 20s, but I was always getting in trouble. But I realized why. See, my father was a New York City detective, homicide narcotics
Oh wow,
detective squad. Well, he was involved with the French Connection, Eddie Egan, Popeye Doyle. In
wow.
fact, Eddie Egan used to come over the house all the time and give me a ride into the city to see my cousins. Anyway, when my dad was home, he'd be asleep, and by the time I wake up, he's already gone to work.
Mm.
So I never get to see him. We never did anything together. The only time I ever got any kind of um, anything with him was when I'm being yelled at or punished for getting in trouble.
Oh.
So I seem to have gotten in trouble a lot,
Yeah.
especially in school.
Yeah. Yeah, that's two of us. My mom had the greatest parents in the world, but I was the same way. I was always in trouble. That's for sure. Now, have you noticed? Like we actually know what. There's another question I want to ask you. I know you have like appeal stuff. I don't want to talk about anybody's case. But one thing I want to know, just your mindset is something where, um, I think it was in 2007 for the first case was you got granted parole, and then the release date was I think it was like February 8th, 2008. But then like the week before you got out, like new charges came about. Without I don't say anything about the case or anything, but just the mindset
Uh,
of like, did you know that was coming, or is that like a complete shock to you? Like, was your mindset is like I'm free, I'm out of here, good riddance, and was that like just a shock to you, or you kind of knew that that was brewing because that had to be, you know, just a
you got
um,
you got that kind of wrong.
okay,
You see, in February of 2008, I was actually at the place what they call R&R, where you sign all your papers to get out.
Oh, you already made that
I
far.
was there at
Oh,
R&R,
no way.
signed the papers,
Oh,
and then I was taken out of the building and put into a police car and taken down to the county jail to wait to be extradited to California.
oh
So
wow.
I thought I was out. I was free.
You basically
I was
were
going.
out. Holy crap.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it was devastating.
wow. And you had like no idea, that was coming. That was like a total shock to you
I had
too.
total shock.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, that was kind of crazy.
that's just horrible. Like I said, I don't want to get into the case at all with that stuff, but I just had to ask you about that because I can't imagine anything being worse, than that. I didn't realize it was even worse than I thought. I mean, you basically were free. You were like a step out the door. You had one
I
foot out
was.
the door already.
I actually signed the papers of being free,
Oh,
and then as I walked out the door, there was two police officers there to take me.
oh, that's horrible. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like our kind of we're going through this called like this true crime kind of generation where, I mean, I know I'm sure from inside, but outside on like every TV show, now there's like these apps, for the TV. I mean, there's like true crime apps, and every time you turn on TV, there's something true crime. Have you noticed in the past like 5 or 10? I'm sure you've gotten letters over the years from people, and people wanted to say hi and whether encourage you or whatever it may be. But have you noticed like an increase in letters that you received, or people that received since maybe like the past 5 to 7 years, where it's true crime everything? Everybody wants an autograph or a request or a piece of artwork or something. But have you noticed an increase of that from your own letters?
I'm writing like 8 different people right
You know.
now. That I'd say 6 of them are collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them, they just really interested in what I can, give them, send them.
Yeah.
But there are a few that have actually become friends writing. I even have my TV went out, and I am big into the TV. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's how I do most of my time. And she's having me send a whole bunch of my drawings, and she's going to put them on her website to sell,
Mm-hmm.
so I can get me another TV.
Oh, good.
Some of them are pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. In fact, when I called you, I was right in the middle of drawing one that I was going to send to you after you told me you have a place to put them up too.
Oh yeah, all my social media.
I'm
There's,
doing.
as I said, I've been writing people for like 20 years or so, mostly with outreach, whether it's a Christian thing or just encouraging people. And for some, they have no way to make income. I mean, if they have no money coming at all, they can't get commissary. They're stuck with the food that they're offered, and that's it. And I'm like, listen, if you need a couple bucks, it's my way of, again, almost like the Norway system. It's my way of encouraging people, just showing kindness, and love. And sometimes that's the only thing they can do, artwork or, some personal item, whatever it may be, just to help put food on their pocket, not for my benefit. Now, I don't want to make money off of that stuff, but just for the person itself. I say, yeah, no, you're welcome to send as much as you want. That stuff, I'll go quickly. I got a pretty big following, so that stuff doesn't last long for sure.
See, I've been here a year and a half now trying to get a job, and they won't give me a job because of the wheelchair.
Okay.
Which is really, that's really wrong, though. According to the ADA, they shouldn't be able to hold that against me.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of jobs you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
They have people that go to the different units, and people who can't read or write, that's something I would do. I would write up their paperwork or read stuff that they need read to, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody they've given a job to is not in a wheelchair.
That's a shame. Well, I said, everybody listening to this, send me a message. I said, we'll get some artwork from Joseph, and get that new TV up on your wall pretty soon. That's for sure. What do you think? What was some of the more crazy requests? What do you think that you got? Because I know there's things like hand tracings, and I see all kind of stuff online. Is there anything like people want you for like a nail clipping or a piece of hair or something crazy like that?
No, the craziest thing I got that at least I thought was crazy is they wanted a pair of my glasses.
Oh yeah, those crazy people. I don't know who that would be. You should see. I'm in
no,
my.
it- that's about it, really. Glasses, letters with my signature on it,
Yeah.
drawings. I haven't got any of the really crazy requests.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I got some. I've heard some people ask me, "Hey, can you ask so and so for this or so and so for that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to ask for somebody's nail clippings." That's just the craziest thing. I mean, I enjoy getting things. I mean, people over the years. I've been talking to people for years. So like, my house is covered. I mean, people had Halloween costumes that they snuck out for me. I have never. The mailman must think I'm absolutely lunatic for the all the letters I get every day, and whether it's the PO box or my address from glasses or clothing, and I never know what's going to come in the mail. It's just wild, but it's just amazing, just the fascination with it. With everything true crime nowadays, it just just going through the roof for sure. I mean, some people are uncomfortable writing different facilities, so just write me, not write me, email me, and we'll get you whatever you need for sure. Now, as far as artwork goes, what kind of artwork do you like to do?
I mostly do, besides greeting cards, I do manga art. That's that Japanese art,
Wow, yeah, yeah.
with the women with the big round eyes, and I do fairies with big colorful wings.
Oh wow, oh that must be cool. Yeah, I think they'll. I think just it's funny because even anybody with a little bit of a name to them, notoriety, they can do like a stick figure, and it flies off the shelf. It sounds like Richard Ramirez. He was the worst artist of all. He couldn't draw anything, and those things nowadays are going for buku bucks for sure, like thousands of dollars. It's crazy. But I said I have some of your stuff. I mean, from the cards and greeting cards, that you sent me over this past year or so. Um, yeah, I look forward to see some of your other artwork. So it's going to be great for sure. And what made
Oh,
you get started? I mean, is that something just inside
great.
of the facility you started, or were you always doing artwork?
Oh, I was always doing it from a young age. I used to draw. In fact, when I was uh, not quite a teenager, I had all kinds of cartoon characters drawn on my walls
Hmm.
in color.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've always been drawing. You
Oh,
know
that's
what?
cool.
I remember you had mentioned oh, Manson,
Oh man, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Charles Manson.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was in a prison where he was about 3 cells down from me.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
4 cells down from me.
Hmm.
Yeah, he used to sit in the middle of the floor of his cell and talk to himself.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't quite all there.
Yeah, you get that impression from here. I know he puts on a little bit of a show in front of the cameras, but even people that I knew him personally say, yeah, no, he wasn't all together. I mean, some of it was a show, but no, there's issues. There's definitely issues. And which is amazing because how powerful and influential and what kind of an influence he had, especially of his people or his family, so to speak. Like I'm very close with Bruce Davis, who was part of the family, who was in San Quentin. I don't know if you got to know him or not. And then Charles
Yeah.
Tex Watson, the other one. I've been friends with those guys for probably 10, 15 years. Bruce has actually been on a podcast a couple of times. And it's amazing to hear them now. They're like these Christian and ministers and preaching every day, and they're like the pastors and the what do you call it? The just like reverends or chaplain, like a chaplain of the prison too. And Bruce, he's heavily into his faith. It's like you can't put two and two together. You see these old pictures and stories, and it's like, well, people change. People change their life around,
Yeah.
and whether you're in a facility or not. And
I can't I can't understand how he was able to convince so many people to do things
yeah,
that they normally wouldn't do.
yeah. I mean, it's not really I think 100% answer for that, but I think a lot of it was drugs, and it wasn't just like just smoking pot. That's not going to do much, but it's that hallucinogenic, the trips, the mushrooms, the LSD. And you're already a very impressionable person. Because that's the people that he picked. He was a pimp. That's where he was. He started out as a pimp, and then picking those girls off the street. He was desperate for the father figure, on the highly, highly hallucinogenic drugs little by little through all the acid trips and tests and little by little, it's just insane. But yeah, it's just the power of the
Yeah,
mind.
it's
Good.
hard to it's it's hard for me to understand because I used to do a lot of acid, LSD,
Yeah.
back in the '70s, yes, the late '60s and '70s. That was the thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
In fact, I went to Woodstock and spent
Hmm.
on LSD.
Yeah. Man,
So and
yeah.
I was going to say, so I can't see how that nobody could have told me to convince me to do something I didn't want to do.
Yeah, I was in the late '80s was my '60s. Now I was following around the Grateful Dead, tons of acid. It just made me happy. Made the music sound better, made me
Yeah,
more. I went from like listening to heavy metal and Metallica, ate acid. Next thing you know, I'm a Grateful Dead head, listening to Pink Floyd and all the old bands of the '60s. It mellowed me out. Made everything positive for me. I was like,
just named two of my favorite. Just named two of my favorite bands.
ah. It's funny when you mentioned like the Grateful Dead, where I don't know if you saw pictures of this or not, or on the TV, but have you heard about the new um, venue called the Sphere in Vegas?
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah. That's awesome looking.
Have you seen anything the Grateful Dead did there on a video by any chance?
Yeah, you sent me a clip.
Oh, that's right, I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was going to say how it takes off like a spaceship, but the whole concert just takes off up in the air. That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. I wish I can get out there to see them one day.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it on TV from the outside. Is the stuff that they put on there is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it's insane. It's
Hey,
definitely insane.
do you have any idea when this is going to air? I'm asking because I'm writing this girl named Maria.
Hmm.
Hi, Maria. And Sharon and I become good friends, and she was asking when it would be on so she can listen.
Yeah, it'll be out tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll have to
if she just
email
puts
her.
a search out for just the lighter side of true crime and mention my name, there's Spotify, Apple, all the major podcasts, they'll have it out there.
Yeah, I gave her all that information.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, by tomorrow night it'll definitely be out there.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. And you said you mentioned some of your favorite bands too. You said you were at Woodstock to actually hear the music?
Oh man, it was so great. I got to see Jimmy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and this guy can play the guitar. He played the Star Spangled Banner
Mm-hmm.
behind his head.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I heard, the weather might not have been as good sometimes, but everybody was there. Said good and
Oh,
bad.
it rained a lot.
Yeah, it was like miserable there to a degree, but like looking back on it, it was like the greatest experience ever. As long as you once you settle into
Oh,
the fact it's a big mud pile.
it was the best concert I've ever been to. I
What?
mean,
Who
I
else
got
did?
to see so many.
I was gonna say who else?
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Oh wow.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Uh, Deep Purple.
Hmm.
It was so good.
I can imagine. It's funny because the Grateful Dead said that was like they didn't play good there. He's like every time we get to the real big events and the big, all the lights are on us, we fail. We didn't play as good. They said they had like is there one of their big problems the Dead said they had there. You might even heard the story. Is one of the guys working the electric rewired a few things at the last minute. So every time some of them, like Bobby Weir, the guitarist, and Jerry, when they would touch their guitar strings, they would get shocked. So that just messed up everything, the
Oh
vibe and
wow.
everything. There was a horrible experience. I couldn't get like that vibe together. Just the electrics were so bad, and they kept getting shocked when they hit their strings. So that was a horrible experience for them. But like Santana that's probably my favorite Woodstock part of it. Obviously, Jimi
Oh
Hendrix was
yeah.
classic, but Carlos is my favorite story from that. He said he was
Every
talking.
now and then,
He wasn't going to be going on
every
for
now and
like
then,
what's that?
every now and then, PBS puts on a concert of Carlos Santana, and oh
Oh
man, I
yeah,
watch it every time. Yeah,
definitely.
he's awesome. That guy can play the guitar.
He said his famous thing from that was it was 7 8 hours. He was going to go like later on at night, like real late. He's like, oh, I'll just eat some acid now because I'll be kind of cooled out by the time that comes. Ate the acid, and as soon as it started kicking in, he's like, no, you got to go on now. He said his guitar
Yeah.
neck was just bending, looking like a snake, and he just prayed to God. He was like, Lord, just keep me in tune, just keep me in tune. And out came the most emotional, passionate solos, and it was like perfect. Totally perfect. And I've been there. I've had tons of acid playing music, and if it connects right, you are the music. You just become the music as you're playing and listening to. Oh, it was tremendous. And I got to see him live. It's funny. I saw him live a couple times, and one time I saw him live. The blues guitarist named Buddy Guy was opening up, which was great. Buddy Guy was tremendous. A great showman. It's a great concert. Well, Buddy Guy sat in with Santana for a few songs. Oh, it was great. They're just jamming back and forth. That was a great. I mean, I live near Philadelphia, so I get a lot of great venues and a lot of concerts come my way out here, or even Nassau. I go up to New York to see the Dead a couple times up at Nassau back in late '80s, early '90s when they were still the original band anyway. But it's awesome.
Yeah,
But,
Allman Brothers.
oh yeah, another great live band. I've seen a bunch of times.
Yeah, they don't. Excuse me. They don't really have very many electric guitar players like they used to.
No, there's
It
what I
seems
call
like it seems like now the country songs, the country bands are doing the electric guitars more now.
yeah. Well, if you know where to look, I mean, there's still the jam band groups out there. Like Fish is. I mean, the Dead's still out there. They're called Dead and Company now with John Mayer playing with them, which is amazing. I mean, they sound tremendous. But bands like Fish with Trent Anastasia, I mean, they're kind of like Dead-ish, where it's just jamming. The songs are okay, but it's really about the jam. So there's the Widespread Panic. There's a lot of good jam bands still out there. You just kind of got to kind of know where to look. But that's definitely my style.
There's a band that it's a cover band of Pink Floyd that they sound exact. In fact, I thought they were Pink Floyd when I was watching it on the PBS show. And one of the girls that does the background singers used to be with Pink Floyd.
Oh, get out!
One of the guys from Pink Floyd listened to them, saw them, and invited them to come over for one of their guys' birthdays to play for them.
Oh,
that's how good they were.
Wow. And just a couple more questions. We'll get you out of here. They said you have appeals and stuff like that. If you were a free man today, now what would the first few days or few weeks look like for you? Like, what would you do? What did you? I'm sure there's a lot of things you miss, of course, but aside from not worrying about a place to stay or money, but I mean, if that wasn't an issue, what are some things you had to do right away? Like, yeah, you've been thinking about it for all these years. You really want to do and get to.
Okay, New York style pizza. a thick steak with sautéed mushrooms and onions. The roller coasters that are out nowadays, where you actually do loops and go upside down. And swimming. I want to go scuba diving again.
Oh yeah. It's funny. Have you heard of virtual reality glasses?
Yes, I've seen them on TV a lot. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I've had them for many years. Literally yesterday, I got the newest one. This thing called Quest 3. And what's amazing, and people have no idea how real this is, but you mentioned roller coasters. Like, I have a little bit of vertigo, so I can't really do too many heights and things like that. But for some reason, it doesn't bother me with these glasses. Now, when you put these glasses on for the roller coasters, and there's like 30 different ones you can pick in this one little game you can get, you're there. Like, when you put these glasses on, whether it's walking around a house, a haunted house, you're there. It's not a cartoon thing. You're there. So with the roller coasters, you got dragons chasing after you, dinosaurs, horror things. But the cool thing about it is, being it's all fake, when you're going down 90 miles an hour and you're going up, the the roller coaster tracks are gone. Like, it'll break, or a dinosaur will smash it. So when you go up in the air and the tracks stop, you just start free falling from like hundreds of feet in the air. You're free falling down as fast as you can possibly imagine. You think you're going to die, and it links up to another track down there, and you pick back up and you keep going. Like, it's mind blowing. It's absolutely insane what they can do with virtual reality. But it's not like a cartoon. It's like real. Like, you're really there.
I've seen people on TV wearing them actually walk into walls and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the good ones, like the good ones that I have, you set a boundary up. like while you have the glasses on, you can set a boundary up. That was the older pair that I have. The newer pair I got yesterday, all you have to do is look around the room. It scopes out everything in the room because it has cameras on the front. So
Oh.
so you're looking like you're looking through a regular pair of glasses. It scans the ceiling fan, the table, the chair, the guitar that's in the corner. So anytime you get close to something, this little neon wall comes up and lets you know, don't go too close. But the games I just got, it's called mixed reality. What that is, like downstairs in my family room, you put the glasses on, you're looking at your family room. Now the glasses are on with the cameras on the front. One game is called Panic Room. And what it is, you put the glasses on and you hear it start knocking on your ceiling. So you look up, it adapts to your room. So this dust starts falling from my ceiling and these knocks and the phone rings. You pick up the phone on it's part of the game. It's an exterminator saying, "Oh, we got problems." Spiders start falling from my ceiling. Now, it's my
Oh,
room.
wow.
Spiders are coming up from behind my cushion on my sofa. They're crawling on my guitar, my real guitar.
Oh, wow.
They're jumping at me.
Oh,
And he's like,
wow.
"We got to throw bricks." And I'm throwing bricks at him. You missed a spider, and it's putting cracks in my floor. Like it's really, really, like it's very realistic. Then he gives me a gun and a shotgun. I'm trying to shoot the spiders, and big things come out. Well, anyway, at my work yesterday, one of my guys, the coworkers' sons was there, kind of helping in the back, like he's a teenager. He put it on. He was blown away how realistic it was. Now these, I'm talking thousands and thousands of spiders are coming after you in this game. They're jumping at your corner. He's freaking out like, "Oh my God, this is real. This is real." I got my hand and I started grabbing his ankle like a spider. I just touched him for a second like it's a spider. I've never seen somebody scream so loud in my life thinking it's a real spider. He screamed. He was like, "Oh!" He took the glasses off. Oh, I belly laughed so hard. Uh, the other one, actually, his dad. There's the one you go up in a sky like Empire State Building. It's over in New York. It looks like New York, and the elevator goes up. Well, but when the elevator's door opens, you look out. You're looking down to the ground from like 40 stories high up in the air, and there's a plank about maybe about 4 or 5 inches wide and about 6 feet long. All you got to do is walk out. Nobody can do it. It's fake. You're in the room. No, you're in your bedroom or you're in the living room. But when you're in this virtual reality glasses, because you look up, down, look behind you at the elevator, it's a plank. You know, always, every time I get a friend to do it, they walk out a couple feet, like 1 feet, and they're shaking. And I just push them, just a little touch. Like they're gonna fall. They literally they fall over to the ground because they think they're falling. They scream and they land on the ground, or they try to grab my curtains or something because they really think. And you're falling. I mean, in the illusion of it, you're falling. But in real life, if you just touch them, they'll scream because they think it's real. But it's mind blowing. But
Oh, I want to try that so bad.
oh, it's amazing, and it's makes I'm not into too much into video games and stuff, but something like that. It's another one. It was you can go. You mentioned scuba diving. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Rift, no Ocean Rift or something like that. Well, you can either swim with sharks and dolphins, but you're really underwater swimming with them, and it's very realistic. Well, with the mixed reality, I was like, let me try the mixed reality one. So I'm in my family room again, looking at my real room. You can draw squares. You're drawing windows on your real room. Once you hit the go button, it's a window. It's an aquarium now. You just turn your family room into aquarium with either old dinosaurs or sharks or dolphins, eels. It's in a real aquarium, and they have one. Your whole ceiling turns into glass too. But it's like
Oh,
you're watching
wow.
TV, like your TV's on with the glasses, with the cameras. You're looking all around. Your whole room's an aquarium, and it's mind blowing. I mean, it's absolutely mind blowing. But
You with fish going by you?
you can either do the one where you're in the water with them, but the mixed reality is, it's your walls are glass now. It's a window like you're an aquarium. So you turn your family room into an aquarium. So you're normal. You're just doing everyday life, but you look over to the right, and there's great white sharks swimming out, or dolphins, or
Oh,
jellyfish.
wow.
But it really looks like you're in a real aquarium, but you're sitting in your living room. You know it's just
Oh,
mind
that
blowing.
sounds so cool.
Oh, it's great. So you got to chalk up, add that one to the list too. That's it. you you can come over to my house. You get New York. You're only 3 hours from me. Come to my place, and we'll do the glasses.
All right.
Definitely.
Sounds cool.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, listen,
All right.
what's that?
I've enjoyed being on your podcast.
No, thanks for coming on. Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Definitely. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure I'll talk to you with the texting soon enough.
All right.
All right,
You
my
have a
friend.
nice one to yourself.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
All right, there you have it, Joseph Nissensohn. And I really like, especially, a lot of these men and women that come onto the podcast. Not all, but most. I've built relationships up for a while. And it's not like I don't reach out to people, because a lot of people do. A lot of people, everybody and their mother has a podcast now. People reached out to Joseph before Joseph turned everybody down. But I've known him for a while now, a couple years. So a lot of this, I know we're talking like we're buddy, but I've built relationships up for years with some of these people. And not everyone who comes on a podcast, I really don't ask everybody. I probably talk to 40 or 50 people at different facilities of a pretty, notorious name, so to speak. But it's really about trying to make a difference and encourage people, whether they're going to get out, whether they're not going to get out, to really prove, not just test anymore, but I think most of my little theories proven from first-hand experience that kindness, love, and compassion to people who don't deserve it. I get a lot of flack for reaching out for the people that I do. Some claim innocence, some admit their guilt. But even the people who aren't getting out, they still can make a difference behind bars by helping other inmates there who are going to get out, not doing what they did or chose a different path. But I always enjoy talking to Joseph. We talk maybe once a day, once every couple of days for a long time now. And I've really appreciated him coming on the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Got to know a little something about him and his past. I know sometimes people have their impressions of people just from somebody else doing a podcast, just reading Wikipedia pages or watching a documentary without really taking the time to get to know somebody. I actually glanced at his Wikipedia page today, and there wasn't much information about his past at all. And now I hope it just kind of fills in some of the blanks. I don't want too personal. Again, there's some appeals going on with his case, so I don't want him to say anything he shouldn't about the case and about what he's been convicted of, just for the appeal's sake of everything. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. We got some good stuff coming up soon. We got the selfie killer Amanda Taylor to make her second appearance on the podcast pretty soon. And until next time, see ya.